As I look out on the world, I'm more certain than ever of the power and significance of the collaborative, problem-solving global platform we call Solve.
Education Modified is a research-based solution to provide teachers with technology to address all the special needs in their class with research-based content and workflow tools.
At AugmentX, we're using augmented reality to deliver more standardized, high-quality rehab therapy.
Refactor is an online platform to develop tech and human skills. It is designed to help individuals and organizations succeed in the workplace of the future.
Solve is an initiative of MIT, and its mission is to solve world challenges. How do we do that? We launch specific challenges every year. We find incredible social entrepreneurs from all around the world, and we accelerate their work.
The way MIT convenes all these minds from every different corner, whether it's Yo-Yo Ma in arts and culture or neuroscientists, that give you just such different perspectives.
Whether it's with an NGO, private sector, or government and legislation, this idea of partnership, I think, is one of the singular advantages that Solve has.
Solve is creating a marketplace for social impact innovators. It's really about the community, and it's really about you making this happen as much as us.
The Solve community has really advanced our work in providing support at a variety of levels, particularly with technology, mentorship, and advice.
Thanks to MIT Solve, we are able to develop a compelling product vision. Solve has helped us amplify our impact.
Everybody should have a place at the problem-solving table.
Welcome back, everyone. For those of you who have just tuned in to the global live stream, welcome to Virtual Solve at MIT. I'm Matthew Miner, Director of International Programs at MIT Solve. MIT Solve is an MIT initiative with a mission to solve world challenges. And as a marketplace for social impact innovation, Solve launches open innovation challenges to find incredible tech-based social entrepreneurs all around the world. Solve then brings together MIT's innovation ecosystem and a community of members to fund and support these entrepreneurs to help them drive lasting, transformational impact. Our Solve community has been working throughout the day to discuss some of these challenges and to advance innovative solutions all around the world. And now we're all here for a great program. Mary Barra, Chairman and CEO of General Motors, in conversation with MIT's President, Raphael Reif, our Solve Investor Showcase, exciting challenge announcements, and remarks and a performance by world-renowned cellist Yo-Yo Ma. So please stay tuned. Without further ado, please welcome back Alex Amoyel, Executive Director of Solve.
Hello, everyone. I hope you are having a productive and inspiring day wherever you are in the world, and whether you have been with us all day or are just joining us on the live stream. Next up, we are going to welcome MIT's President Raphael Reif in conversation with Mary Barra, the Chairman and CEO of General Motors. I'm looking forward to hearing their insights about leadership during such a trying time. Solve has had the great pleasure of working with GM over the past few years. We have closely collaborated to support advanced technologies in service of future generations of learners and workers, with prize funding and workshops with GM's employees in Detroit. We're delighted to be continuing this relationship in 2020. Investing in social impact innovators is more important than ever, and everyone has a role to play here. Solve cannot do this work alone, and we will only be successful by creating an ecosystem of cross-sector partners that bring their best resources to bear to support Solver teams in accelerating their impact and transforming the lives of millions. At the center of that ecosystem is, of course, MIT, whose mission is to serve the nation and the world in the 21st century and bring knowledge to bear on the world's greatest challenges. This is why MIT, under the leadership of President Raphael Reif, created Solve to bolster its world-class education and research activities and support open innovation and social impact innovators wherever they are in the world. I'm so grateful for the leadership, support, and passion that Raphael brings to our community. So without further ado, I'm delighted to introduce the President of MIT, Raphael Reif.
Joining us. The solvers have had a full day of sharing, new ideas, and making inspiring connections. So I want to thank the entire Solve community for your energy, dedication, and creative work to address the most important global challenges. In a moment, we'll be joined by a highly regarded and prominent innovator and leader, Mary Barra, Chairman and CEO of General Motors. In 1980, when I was starting my career at MIT, Mary began her career with GM as General Motors Institute co-op student. We both have had the privilege of working at a major organization and seeing it evolve over 4 decades. We also have seen the world become much more interconnected during those 4 decades. As you know, Solve is a global collaborative enterprise. But the current global emergency is making it difficult, is testing the commitment of nations and institutions to global cooperation. And that is why events like Solve at MIT are so important, to demonstrate that while interconnectedness comes with risk, it also brings enormous opportunities. And GM is all about opportunities. It's playing a major role in creating opportunity for many in many ways, including through its long-term commitment to Solve. Last year, GM welcomed Solver teams to its campus in Detroit. And today, I'm delighted to welcome Mary to Solve at MIT. Mary, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you. It's really great to be a part of this. And General Motors, we continue to make progress every day and are learning many things through COVID. So we're doing fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And we want to learn a little bit from what you're learning from COVID. So indeed, COVID-19 has brought to light the importance of experience and knowledge in science, technology, and manufacturing. And GM has plenty of that. And you decided to put all that to benefit the whole situation we're facing with COVID-19. Can you tell us a little bit more about what GM has been doing?
Well, as we all started to learn how COVID was impacting the world, starting first in China and then Korea, and then as it arrived in the United States, we saw that there were shortages of things like masks and personal protective equipment, as well as ventilators. And so learning from what had happened in China, we started to look for opportunities how we could contribute. In our home state of Michigan, we saw that there were challenges of first responders and those in the medical profession on the front line having masks. And so we learned and started working with one of our Chinese joint ventures who had made masks, and they quickly shipped over their prints, and we had tools built, and in about a week we were starting to make our first mask. At the same time, we started to realize the shortage of ventilators, and we were connected with a company called Ventec. And a month after those first connections, we were building ventilators in a plant in Kokomo, Indiana. And it was really bringing the whole team together and working collaboratively with Ventec that we were able to do that. And I think it's rich in General Motors history that when our country needs our help, we're going to step in. You know, from both World War I and World War II, General Motors made significant contributions. And so we thought it was important. And one of the things that made me not surprised, because my team at General Motors does incredible things, but was inspiring to see how people volunteered and worked literally 24 hours a day to get the work done. So we did a small part like many other companies did, but I couldn't be more proud.
It was inspiring idea to move so much so quickly from a phone call to production in just a few weeks. It was truly remarkable. You must have learned quite a bit from this major transformation you have to do to benefit us to helping us all through COVID-19 to solve and address the issue you just described. Of the lessons you learned, what do you think might be helpful to share with other corporate leaders or other institutional leaders?
Well, I think when you engage your team and then set them free to do what they can do, they can accomplish amazing things. I mean, General Motors, we've been in the business of designing and engineering, validating and making things for over 100 years. And so taking all of those skill sets to partner with a ventilator company that was making 200 to 300 ventilators a month, and we wanted to get it to well over 10,000. Really leveraging those skill sets, and it was empowering the team to make decisions. One of the things I've been impressed with is how we're able to do things much more quickly in this environment. Things that in, I'll say, normal corporate time speed would take weeks and months seem to be getting done in days and weeks. And so I think asking ourselves the question, why aren't we moving at this pace all the time? And what can we do to support people so they can move that quickly, I think is an important lesson learned, and definitely something that we'll be challenging ourselves, and frankly already are in other parts of the business. We're saying, why can't we move at that same speed? And as we challenge people, they are.
Oh, excellent point. We are all thinking about bringing jobs back, reopening cities and so forth. And we're talking about reopening campuses like MIT. Could you share with us very briefly what protocols you put in place at GM to bring workers back to work and to keep them safe?
Yeah, I think this is critically important, and for the globe, and specifically here in the United States, as we start to resume work and resume different activities. And there's really two components of it. One is truly making sure you're providing a safe environment, and that's with a questionnaire to make sure we have a kind of a three-pronged approach of, let's keep people who may be ill out of the workplace. Let's make sure the workplace provides an environment that protects the person in that environment. And then third, if somehow someone does come in that is affected with the virus, that we're able to quickly identify that and then make sure the area is safe again for others to enter. So it's filling out a questionnaire, it's temperature screening, it's using masks, it's social distancing, it's stepped up cleaning. And so that's the formal protocol. And because we've been making masks and ventilators and keeping our facilities running that support our dealers, we have good data that it works, and that it is providing a safe environment, because safety is our overriding priority. The second thing, though, and I think it is very, very important as well, is communicating and make sure people understand. There's so much information out there. Some of it's not exactly factual. So making sure people understand what the protocol is and how it will keep them safe, and addressing their individual concerns. I think all of us have been impacted by COVID differently. Some of us may have lost a loved one. Some of us may have people who work on the front line. So I think it's also approaching it with a lot of patience and understanding, so we can address people's concerns, so they truly understand that they're in a safe environment. So I think it's a multi-pronged approach that you need to take to address just an unprecedented situation.
Well, thank you for explaining all that, Mary. This is unprecedented in all ways, but the way you handle that has been it's been a role model of how to do it right. Look, with COVID-19, all of us we have changed very quickly how we live and how we work. But one important issue that has to do with GM is that COVID-19 has had a huge impact on transportation. So how would you like to see corporations and institutions respond when restrictions are lifted and we can all get back to move around again?
Sure. Well, I think it's very important. General Motors, a couple years ago, we created a vision that we're working toward, and it's to create a world with zero crashes, zero emissions, and zero congestion. And we believe that with the technology that's available today and our resolve, that we can solve those issues. And so I think as we return, and as different parts of the world are returning, we recognize that it doesn't change the importance of creating that world where, from a emissions perspective, we've seen how climate change has been impacted by major parts of the world shutting down. How do we leverage that to accelerate our journey to an all-electric future? How do we accelerate technology such as autonomous vehicles that we can reduce congestion? And then, of course, safety is critical as well. So we see this as an opportunity to work together and work in collaboration to accelerate our journey to a world with zero crashes, zero emissions, and zero congestion. And I also see it as an opportunity for our industry because I think people's perceptions are changing on mass transit. And so wanting to have your own vehicle or wanting to know, for instance, with our Origin vehicle that is part of our cruise team working on autonomous vehicles, how do we ensure that it's got the right level of cleanliness and being disinfected person to person? I think those are all things that we can work on, but it doesn't deter at all our vision and our drive to create and achieve this vision.
It sounds like a very nice marketing approach, Mary. Zero crashes, zero emissions, zero congestion. That's a terrific vision to accomplish. Look, GM has been working with Solve and with Solver team since 2017, and you've been supporting us on advanced technology. And this year, you decided to support the learning for girls and women, as well as the good jobs and inclusive entrepreneurship challenges, which I would deeply appreciate. Could you tell us more about that commitment and GM's support of what we may call social entrepreneurship?
Well, like Solve, GM is committed to supporting innovations that solve some of the world's most pressing challenges of our time. I just mentioned our vision, and we don't want to stop there. And so we're making investments focused on STEM education, on vehicle and road safety, and on community development. And I think it really aligns well with the learning for girls and women and the good jobs and inclusive entrepreneurship that are the challenges for Solve 2020. So those work quite well and align with our corporate mission. And we think it is so important from a STEM perspective that everybody understands science and technology are changing every single industry and changing the way we live and do our jobs. We're seeing that right now. And so how do we support that? And especially with a focus for girls and women, because we still don't have as many girls and young women entering into the STEM fields as I believe that we're going to need across the globe. So we have been so impressed with working with MIT and on the Solve program, and we're delighted to be continuing the partnership this year.
Well, thank you, Mary. Let me just tell you something that I'm sure you know, that half of our graduate are women. So please come to us when you want to recruit them. They are very, very, very good and very smart. Look, Mary, I just want to deeply thank you for joining us. You are a magnificent role model to many, and we thank you for not just for joining us as well, but for your support of Solve at MIT. Has been terrific for us, and we are deeply grateful. Thank you so very much.
Well, thank you, and thanks for the opportunity. MIT is a world-renowned educational institution, and we're just proud to be able to partner with you on these important initiatives. So thank you, and I wish everyone a good day and stay safe.
You too, stay safe. Thank you. Thank you, Mary. Bye-bye.
Wow, what an inspiring conversation. General Motors' ability to pivot from an auto manufacturer to a ventilator manufacturer is impressive, and interesting to consider how the lessons from COVID-19 can be applied to other world challenges. Before we move into our investor showcase, I'd like to introduce Carrie Morgridge, Vice President and Chief Disruptor of the Morgridge Family Foundation, and Vanessa Kirsch, Founder and CEO of New Profit, for an exciting announcement.
Hi, my name is Carrie Morgridge. I am the Chief Disruptor for the Morgridge Family Foundation. This year has brought new challenges for all of us with the COVID crisis. My husband, John, and I, our prayers are with you and your family. Never in my lifetime has unemployment reached this height. Meanwhile, student debt has grown to trillions of dollars, while there remains a skills gap for in-demand jobs now. It's time to rethink what's possible when it comes to career pathways. The good news is that American ingenuity is already at work. There are entrepreneurs and innovators developing new technologies and opportunities. But we need more. I'm so proud to announce that we have joined forces with MIT Solve and New Profit to create career pathways that work for everyone. We're building an impressive coalition of partners: IBM, CSU Global, New Profit, local workforce boards, and we're just getting started. If you're a funder, we hope you'll join us. No one sector can solve this issue alone, so it's exciting to see employers, academia, and philanthropy coming together. We're looking for scalable, tech-driven solutions that have the creativity, adaptability, and resilience to build new pathways that will help people access great jobs. The challenge will be open for innovators to apply starting on June 22nd, 2020 on MIT Solve's website, so stay tuned. And in the meantime, you can sign up for MIT Solve's newsletter. This is just the beginning. If you're interested in joining the movement, please get in touch with MIT Solve. And we're also hosting a community breakout session in the Hopin platform shortly after this. We need you to get involved. We know we are better together, and the more people we have inventing, creating, and solving our world's toughest challenges, the stronger we will be as a country. Thank you, and please stay healthy.
Thank you, Carrie. Good afternoon. I'm Vanessa Kirsch, the CEO of New Profit. We are a venture philanthropy fund focused on social entrepreneurs who are working on opportunity and equity in America. And we are just so thrilled to be working with Carrie and the Mortgage Family Foundation and MIT Solves on the work of the future. We will be providing not only financial support, but partnering with the innovations that come out of this challenge. Along with us, New Profit brings a diverse group of partners working to get America back to work. This group includes Walmart.org, XPRIZE, Lumina Ventures, Beacon Fund, and the Siegel Family Endowment. And we're all really excited to launch this challenge on June 22nd. I hope you can join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie and Vanessa. We're so looking forward to working with you on this timely challenge focused on getting people in good jobs here in the United States. The MIT Solve community is a really special one, and I can speak from experience as I am employee number 2 here at Solve. And I'm proud to say that we're now 27 employees strong. In the past 3 years, we've brokered more than $25 million in funding for solver teams and entrepreneurs. We now have at least 72 Slack channels, 56 weekly Zoom calls each, and 352 daily reply all emails. But we wouldn't change a thing because we get to advance the work we know is so critical to our world. And we get to work with people like Casey Vanderstrick, principal of Solve Innovation Future. Please welcome Casey to tell you more about Solve Innovation Future investments.
Thank you, Matthew. Last year at Solve at MIT, we announced the launch of Solve Innovation Future, a first-in-kind philanthropic venture vehicle designed to provide risk-tolerant, impact-focused investment capital to solver teams. Over the past several months, we spoke with many remarkable entrepreneurs. Determining our first 3 investments was no easy decision, but I'm thrilled to announce we've selected 3 for-profit solver teams to receive the first investments from Solve Innovation Future. 2018 Frontlines of Health solver, Access Afia, a modern healthcare operating system for the urban poor. Access Afia is headquartered in Nairobi, Kenya, and led by Melissa Menke. 2019 Early Childhood Development Solver, Kanidu, an app that provides parents and caregivers with adaptive, research-supported activity plans for young children to promote their development. Kanidu is headquartered in Monterrey, Mexico, and led by Luis Garza. 2019 Circular Economy Solver, Queen of Ra, a blockchain and machine learning powered platform that matches buyers and sellers of unused fabric. Queen of Ra is headquartered in New York, and led by Stephanie Benedetto. Investees, congratulations on your agility and resilience in response to the COVID-19 crisis, and thank you for your patience and your energy. We look forward to supporting your growth. Solve Innovation Future is positioned to be entrepreneur-centric. We invest in companies that prioritize innovation and excellence with impact at their core. Our goals are aligned. The success of our investees allows us to reinvest in future classes of solver teams. Our investment flywheel will serve as a proof point for other DAFs to embark on venture investing while demonstrating renewable, disruptive philanthropy. In the Solve Investor Showcase, starting in just a few minutes, we'll hear pitches from our 3 investees, and we'll host an in-depth Q&A session to examine, or should I say cross-examine, their business models. I hope you'll join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey. It's a privilege to watch and see how these solver teams continue to scale their impact. Okay, I have a few logistical items to share with you. For those of you who are in the Solve community and are watching on the Hopin platform, you may now choose from a variety of breakout sessions in the Sessions tab, or you can choose to stay here on the main stage for the Solve Investor Showcase. Please go ahead and select your session now. For those of you in our audience who have joined for the global live stream, stay right where you are as we will now start our Solve Investor Showcase. It's an energizing session filled with solver pitches where you will hear more from Casey about the first Solve investment. Regardless of which track that you choose, we will all be back together for Yo-Yo Ma's performance in 1 hour at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. You do not want to miss this.
I have a daughter with cerebral palsy. Her name is Clara and she's 11 years old. The moment I found out about her situation, empowering people with disabilities became a passion for me. And out of this passion, I created Livox. Livox is a solution for Android tablets that enables nonverbal people with disabilities to communicate. It's a really big challenge for people with severe disabilities, but also people with learning impairments to engage in a regular classroom. I applied to SOLVE because there are over 1 billion people with disabilities on the planet, and they are the group with the highest risk of social exclusion. The MIT SOLVE Teachers and Educators Challenge is very tied up with what we do, and people with disabilities, they must not be left behind.
So General Motors partnered with MIT Solve with this idea that we find the best solutions when we try and harness the collective power of our intellect. And Solve really provided this platform and created this ecosystem of entrepreneurs from Brazil to Africa to India, all coming together and working towards this shared vision of making this planet a better place.
Levox has the opportunity to grow beyond just helping Carlos and his daughter Clara, but going into helping hundreds of thousands, even millions of people throughout the world.
We might be able to use the artificial intelligence in Levox to prevent distracted driving in the future. So even though Levox worked with a technology for people with disabilities, I think it's far-reaching.
What we see is that early stage social entrepreneurs are everywhere around the world, but very few of them are able to succeed and are able to scale. That's what Solve is trying to help our Solver teams with, is really connecting them with people who can move resources to their projects to really accelerate their work.
Because of Solve and GM, we are in a very good position now to improve the lives of people with disabilities, so we're really excited about the possibilities that lie ahead.
Thank you everyone for joining our first Investor Showcase. We're so excited to share the work with you and over the moon to introduce you to our first investees. Some of you may already be familiar with our work and with Solve Innovation Future, but for newcomers, Solve Innovation Future is a groundbreaking philanthropic venture fund dedicated to directing catalytic investments to early stage entrepreneurs that are laser focused on solving the world's most pressing problems. Organized as a donor advised fund with MIT Solve serving as the donor advisor, Solve Innovation Future will raise $30 million over time through tax-deductible gifts to MIT. A donor-advised fund allows us to be entrepreneur-centric and to use traditional and innovative tools to disperse capitals to best meet the needs of our entrepreneurs. We'll use both debt and equity, but also creative revenue-sharing agreements and convertible notes. Over the past several months, we've reviewed dozens of our for-profit solver teams and are thrilled to make investments in Access of Air, Kinidu, and Queen of Ra. In this session, you'll have the opportunity to hear from these founders as they pitch their solutions and answer questions during an interactive question and answer session. But before we begin, I'd like to introduce one of our advisors, Ray Rothrock, who in 2013 retired from Venrock as partner emeritus. Venrock is the original venture investment arm of the Rockefeller family, and during his 25-year career at Venrock, he invested in 53 early stage companies. Say it again, 53 early stage technology companies. He led both the internet and energy practice and was a member of the management committee for Venrock. No big deal. Ray sits on the MIT Corporation and with more than 2 decades of experience in venture. He's lived through the ups and the downs of deploying capital to early stage companies. Ray coached us through Solve Innovation Future's first year, and his guidance continues to help us position our novel work. Ray, it seems appropriate and fitting to have you kick off our first investor showcase.